everyone, and what is going on? It's Sensei Pink, and I'm coming back to you guys for my season finale review on Lore Olympus, episode 115. Now, make sure that you guys go follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, and make sure that you hit that subscribe and notification button to see more weekly videos. Kicking off this last episode, we are brought to Hades after he done watched the video of the lost memory, and now he is making a phone call to someone, but the number is no longer in service. Cutting from Hades, we then get the recap of how Persephone became the bringer of death. In this flashback, Persephone wakes up looking pretty sad, and after taking a bath, getting ready for the day, and now looking over some commuting options to go to school in Olympus, Percy is approached by her mother, who is bringing her breakfast and is glad to see that she's warming up to the idea of commuting. Shortly after, Demeter tries to fix Percy's hair while she's sitting down, but Percy, who is visibly upset, tells her to just stop and storms off. As Demeter follows Percy, Demeter wonders out loud to Percy, like, when is she gonna stop being upset with her? But Percy begins to ask her mom, like, what was the point in all of her studies? And what was the point in her even getting a scholarship? Realizing that Percy is upset over the commute, Demeter tells Percy flat out that she doesn't understand the problem and that she gets to live at home and go to Olympus. But Percy, who has now reached her breaking point, tells her mom that she doesn't want to live there anymore. And no wonder why everyone thinks that she's a joke. Now, instantly regretting her words, Percy begins to apologize, but her mom had to hit her with the "when I was your age," kind of spiel, and ends up grounding Percy for 4 weeks without being able to write letters. As a clapback to this punishment, Percy tells her mom that she's already grounded and that she wishes that Zeus would marry her off to some random god so that she doesn't have to be under her mama's control. Now, after a little bit more back and forth between these two, they both storm off in their own directions. Now, as Percy is working, she is approached by some flower nymphs who ask her if she would like a break. But after upsettedly shouting for them to leave her alone, she turns around to see both the flower nymphs beginning to disintegrate, and as she sees this, she begins to cry and her eyes turn red. Moving along, we cut over to some mortals who are digging and uprooting some flowers, and as they are doing so, they are approached by a red-eyed, scythe-wielding Percy, who demands for them to stop. She continues on by telling them that every flower they uproot, they are killing her sisters, and even though one of the mortals tries to tell her that they didn't know, she just instantly loses it and chops off his goddamn head. Percy then begins to undergo some sort of transformation where she starts to become a larger version of herself with some vines coming out her back, and after she grows, she grabs one of the mortals who are running away towards their village and decides to pay them a visit. As Percy approaches this village on top of the hill, she notes that it looks great, but something is missing, and decides to add a massive thorn tree right in the middle. Now, one by one, Percy grabs each villager and starts putting them onto each thorn of the tree, obviously killing them and just doing something extremely evil. As this flashback comes to an end, we are then brought to the Anti-Percy Club, and it's revealed that they're the ones who are telling this story to Zeus, and we then end off this episode with Zeus stating that if their accusation is indeed true, Percy will have to face the consequences of her actions. Now guys, I don't even know what to say. I'm sad we didn't get the timeline episode I thought we were gonna get last week with figuring out, Percy was a fertility goddess and red-eyed Percy and Demeter knowing all of that. But damn, Percy, we all knew you were a bad bitch, but we didn't know you were evil. Seeing this just, in the words of Miss Juicy from Little Women, what the hell we gonna do now? What the hell are we, the fandom, gonna do now? Because clearly the anti-Percy squad is winning with this accusation. So with that being said, let me jump into my prediction for season 2. For my season 2 prediction / maybe in a couple episodes next season prediction, I personally think that Apollo is responsible for Percy's disappearance, period. Looking back at the beginning of this episode and the number that Hades was trying to get in touch with, but the number was no longer in service. I think that was probably Persephone who he was trying to call. I mean, it only makes sense that Apollo's dirty, stinking, crusty, salty ass, bitch ass would only do this. Or maybe, you know, he didn't put her phone completely out of service, but just made her block Hades' number. Like, I even think that after his date with Daphne, he showed up at Artemis's home to strike a deal with Persephone so that she would marry him, especially after he just blackmailed her earlier. I think that, you know, he told her that both him and the anti-Percy squad know about the Bringer of Death incident, and that they plan, or they already told Zeus, and that if she agrees to marry him, he'll be able to do something to refute their accusation and, you know, not leak her nudes. I mean, this prediction would have like two big benefits for Apollo, with the first being that he gets to marry Persephone without question and not have Hades in the way. Number two, he can save himself the trouble of ever being accused of being a rapist, because if the pictures of Percy ever were to be released, or if she ever told someone about what happened, it would be brushed off because obviously the two of them are married. In addition to all this, it's really important to remember that for some reason Zeus is somewhat inclined to defend Apollo even over his wife's word. As I stated before, I really think we're gonna find out about the connection, or if there is a connection between Zeus and Apollo. Alright guys, that's it for today, and thank you guys for watching. You guys have been so awesome and so amazing with all of your likes, comments, views, and just everything that you've been bringing to my weekly episodes, and I appreciate it, you guys, and I really can't wait to see you guys in August. Now, if you don't want to wait till August, make sure that you guys go check out one of my other favorite webtoons that I'm doing reviews on weekly as well, and that is The Kiss Bet. And if you haven't read The Kiss Bet, I strongly advise that you do. It's lovable, fun, exciting, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's seriously addicting. Alright guys, make sure that you guys go follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, and smash that like button if you enjoyed watching. And finally guys, make sure that you hit that subscribe and notification button if you want to see more of me, Sensei Pink.